Across the surface with my head held high, shoulders pushed back, I'm convinced I'll never die. I gotta squint.
Where do you usually draw your inspiration from?
I mean, I think everybody gets it from their life. You know what I mean? Like, my music is really based on whatever is most important to me. Like I said, I've been releasing music for 10 years, and I have in that time put out 6 albums. So all the albums are like what is most, going on the most in my life. So the first album's called Shadows on the Sun, and that was me just wanting to be heard and really trying to just survive. Like, I was in the hood, starving to death, and, had a wife and a kid, and it was just all bad. And so that was me trying to get out of that. And then I did, and ended up getting divorced and being homeless for a little while and getting custody of my son and rebuilding my family. So I made an album called Undisputed Truth that was about all of that. Then, me getting some level of comfort and success made me concerned about the people that I kind of left behind. So I made an album called Us that's about all of the stories of the people around me. My last album was called Morning in America and Dreaming in Color. And that kind of came from me touring really hard and getting to a point where, career-wise, I was doing really well. But I was on the road for 10 months out of the year, and I was losing touch with why I really wanted to do this. And I just started to become an entertainer instead of a person. I was an entertainer first and a person last. And so at the end of that year, and like during that year, my dad died. My good friend Idea, who was on our label with us, died. And I was just really heartbroken and confused. And at the end of that year, I went on my pilgrimage to Mecca. As a Muslim, that's a big thing for us. And I came back and I took a year off of the road, and I got more involved in my community at home, activism and organizing and advocacy, and also, more in touch with my spirituality. So that's what that album is about, And I'm just now to the point where that's been out for a year now. So, I just put out a collection of just straight rap songs called Left in the Deck that people can stream for free. And I'm just now starting to, figure out what my next album is going to be about.
Do you have a message to at-risk youth, man?
Well, everybody's at risk. You know what I mean? Some people are more aware of their risk, and some people's risks are more physical and immediate. You know what I mean? But, I was in a situation where a lot of my friends, were shot and killed and went to prison and, all of that stuff. Out of my whole group of friends, I'm the only one that has a family and a house and a career, and you know what I mean? Everybody else is dead in jail or trying to recover from, the life that they're living, or they're still in the street, hustling. And so, my main thing would be that, that it's not our fault that we're in these situations completely. We have a target on our back, a lot of us, just based on who we are. You know what I mean? Especially black and brown people, especially poor people. We have a target on our back from the door. And then, things get added. We make decisions within that to be true. But, these people have given us this situation, but they're not going to solve it for us. And, it's really on us to figure out how to best maneuver through these things. And it really comes from the idea, in my mind, that we all are powerful, regardless of the fact that the people who are in power don't recognize our power. And we're sleeping, we're asleep, but there's more of us than there is them, and we have more human resources than they have, because they're cowards. My big brother, I Self Divine, who's kind of like a mentor to me, is on this tour, and he always, quotes the saying that, luxury makes cowards of us all. And so, we have more heart. We just need to wake up to the fact that we are powerful, and that we can, do the things that we need to do. And that's a process of waking up. You get pushed out so much. You get told so much, like, from the time we're little, we go to school and it's like, well, this school isn't about you. You know what I mean? We're just tolerating you. You deal with the police, and it's like, we're not here to protect you. We're here to get you out of the way of the people we really protect, you know? And then, you know, we go to prison, or we go get jobs, or we go anything. Everywhere we go, we're told, like, you know, we're pushed out to the point where we just go to sleep, and we just accept that this world isn't for me. And we do whatever we can to, you know, get what we can while we're here, to make the best of it. But we don't have to just make the best of this situation. We do have power. We just need to open our eyes and wake up to the fact that we do have power. And that's a terrifying proposition, because some of us are going to have to sacrifice, and some of us are going to have to die, but we're dying anyway. You know what I mean? We're shooting each other, and you know, the police are shooting us, and you know, the George Zimmermans of the world are, you know, we're dying anyway. We're dying of diabetes. We're dying of eating messed up food. We're dying of diseases. We're dying anyway. So, you know, once we wake up to this idea that we do have power, I think that's where we really start to turn things for ourselves.
How do you feel about the new places, gentrification, how some areas were predominantly minorities, and now how the landscape is changing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is that, you know, the hood didn't become the hood by accident. People created the hood, you know, city planners and big businesses and city officials get together, and they carve out a section for the hood. And you know, that's another thing that I Self-Divine has been talking to me, like, he's been studying it and been teaching me about it, is city planning. You know, that, you know, the poor people are put in places with the worst air, put in places with the worst, you know, physical situation, but then the property values get low, and you know, they're ripe for people to come in and make a profit. So, you know, people are always making profits off of the situation and condition of marginalized people, you know. And so this is just one of the things that we just need to get hip to, because they're never going to stop. They're never going to be like, man, I'm really sorry I've been doing this. I feel terrible. Here's some power. Here's some land. Here's some money. Here's access. That's never going to happen. You know what I mean? So it's really up to each of us to learn as much as we can, and to organize together. You know, the thing is that, you know, it's our organizations are only as strong as the individuals are, but individuals alone can't do it. We have to, like, really link with each other and figure out how to put forward a unified front. But I mean, we really do have a lot of power in terms of what we're able to do, in terms of what poor working people do, what communities of color are able to do. There's a lot of power there. And so that's, you know, we need to become educated. We need to get trained. We need to pay attention. We need to pay attention to our people that are trying to wake us up. You know, we like to shut them out. You know, so it used to be Farrakhan was sampled on most of the rap records, and he's still telling the truth. He's still got great information. Not as many people are listening now. You know what I mean? You know, so it really is on us to, you know, to try to enlighten ourselves and become more aware.
How was it like traveling to the Mecca? You know, how to tell about the experiences like over there, and you know.
It's exactly what Malcolm X said it was. You get to really get a picture. Nothing makes it more real that we're all human beings than being in that situation. And I mean, you know, there are other circumstances that, you know, that I've never been on, but in my life, that was the first time that I ever saw it. So basically, you got 5 million people from around the world, literally from every country in the world. I mean, there's people there from, not Greenland, but Iceland. You know what I mean? There's Muslims in the North Pole that go there. There's Australia, all through Africa, all through Central and South America, all through Asia, all through the whole world, all through Europe. There's entire countries of white Caucasian people, or European people that are Muslim, and their idea of race is so different from Northwestern Europeans and American white people's idea of race. You know what I mean? Like Albania is almost all Muslim, Kazakhstan, all these places, you know what I mean? And all the men are wearing 2 white robes. So you have like 2 pieces of cloth, like towels. Like, you know, you get out of the towel, you wrap out of the shower, you wrap the towel around your body, your waist or whatever. So you have 1 piece of cloth like that and another one over your top half. And I mean, nothing else on. So like no products, no drawers on. You have sandals on at some points, but other points you're barefoot. And your head is shaved, no jewelry. You know what I mean? So you literally are out there with all these human beings, and everybody's trying to do what they need to do as individuals, but also as a group. You realize that you're there collectively to do the same thing. So people are hustling and bustling. You know, there's extremely poor people there, and people that have money are just, you know, buying food and just giving it to them. You know, and then it's just crazy stuff. And then when the call for prayer happens, it's dead silent, and 5 million people are praying together. You know what I mean? Moving in unison, and like just seeing that display of humanity gives you a level of faith. Also, it's very hard and it's very risky. You know, it's kind of dangerous in a way. There are people that get trampled and people that just overheat and die, you know. And that's another thing, is that like at all 5 of the daily prayers, you know, you make your prayer, and then they carry in the bodies of all the people that died since the last prayer. So at noon prayer, everybody that died since the morning prayer gets carried in, wrapped up in a cloth, and everybody stands up and does like a funeral for them. And so you'll see, like, you know, 6 people brought in. The next prayer, 8 people will be brought in. The next prayer, 1 person. The next prayer, 23. You know what I mean? It's like people are dying, and like you're very aware of death at that time, and that makes you want to live a certain way. And I mean, literally, people from all over the world, you know, are having conversations and, you know, talking about the situation in the world and all of that stuff. It's crazy. And like, you can meet somebody from like, you know, Syria, you know, and you'd be like, oh, you're from Syria? And you'd be like, be careful, man, it's crazy there right now. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, where are you from? And you'd be like, oh, I'm from LA. And they'd be like, you're from LA? Be careful, I hear it's dangerous there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that humanity thing is just so turned up in that moment.
Right on, man. Thank you for the interview, man. Definitely appreciate it, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Word I endeavor to speak, I command you. Diagram a plan to make the devil unhand you. Should the elements change and it ever rain, drops fall around me, my garment is never stained. This is what God had in mind for me. Shine like the stars in the sky, just a line for me. Sunset never seen.